The Beast and the 1260 Days. We are continuing in Revelation 11. We will now identify in this chapter who the beast is and when did it start and finish its reign of 1260 days. Revelation 11:3. And they, the two witnesses, will prophesy for 1260 days. Verse 7. The beast that comes up out of the abyss will make war with them and overcome them and kill them. Historicists recognize the beast in Revelation 11 as the Papacy. We must revisit Daniel 7 to see the overall bigger picture in order to see why the Papacy fits the timing and description of this beast, also known as the little horn in Daniel 7. Daniel 7 gives us the order of what kingdoms will rule the world. It starts with Babylon, goes on to Medo-Persia, then Greece, then the Roman Empire, and from there we see the 10 barbaric European kingdoms, the 10 horns. And from these European kingdoms, a little horn is prophesied to rise up. The clue is given in this, that it, the little horn, would come after the 10 horns and pluck out 3 of the 10 kingdoms in Europe. Daniel 7:8. While I was contemplating the horns, early barbaric kingdoms in Europe, behold, another horn, a little one, came up among them, and 3 of the first horns were pulled out by the roots before it. The only little empire to do such a thing, in the exact time in history, was the Vatican in Rome and its papacy. The 3 kingdoms are said to be the Heruli, the Vandals, and the Ostrogoths. By the year 538 AD, all 3 kingdoms were plucked, and Emperor Justinian declared the Roman bishop, the Papacy, as head of all churches that same year, taking on the emperor's title Pontifex Maximus, thus giving the papal office the headship of all ecclesiastical and civil governments in Europe. So now we see that the papacy fits perfectly as the little horn in Daniel 7 and the beast in Revelation 11. Now let's interpret the 1260 prophetic days and when did these days start and end. The Tanakh says that each prophetic day is considered a literal year. Numbers 14:34. Each day is a year. Also Ezekiel 4:6. I have appointed thee each day for a year. In historicism, this is called the day-year principle. So, if we start the timing at the year 538 AD, we look ahead 1260 years and land in 1798. 1798 is exactly the year when Napoleon sent his French troops to march on Rome and arrest the Pope, who would later on die in prison. Right on time to fulfill the 1260-year rulership of the beast in Revelation 11. The day-year principle fits perfectly with historical timing and shows Yah's sovereignty over all the earth. Keep in mind, in the end times language, 1260 days is also called 42 months, and also times and a half a time, as we see in Daniel 7:25. He, the little horn, will speak against the Most High and wear down the saints of the Highest One. And they, the saints or the witnesses, will be given unto his hand for a times and a half a time, the 1260 days. So, to conclude, the beast in Revelation 11 is also the little horn in Daniel 7. This little horn is said to pluck 3 kingdoms out of Europe, and this fits with the papacy and its kingdom, the Vatican. Secondly, the papacy was said to rule and reign 1260 prophetic days. We plug in the day-year principle and we get 1260 literal years. So we start on the year that the 3 kingdoms were plucked and the Pope was established ruler of all churches, 538 AD, and we land in 1798, the exact year when the French army arrested the Pope, ending its supreme religious and civil power over Europe. And lastly, during this time it was said to make war with the saints, or the witnesses, who opposed its false teachings and doctrines. This is known as the Protestant Reformation of the Middle Ages. If you have been following along since the introduction of the Revelation videos, congrats. We are now in the halfway point of Revelation. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you are enjoying these videos. Thank you, and shalom.